On July 7, 2026, Compass Pathways published 6-month data from its second Phase 3 trial of COMP360, synthetic psilocybin for treatment-resistant depression. The headline, durable benefit through 26 weeks, rapid onset, reproducible across 2 Phase 3 trials, rolling NDA under FDA review, launch expected first half of 2027. Every psychedelic outlet ran the same story. Compass stock ticked up. Investor relations breathed out. 9 days later, on July 16th, Eli Lilly bought AtaiBeckley for up to $3.8 billion to get access to a different psychedelic depression drug. That deal, 9 days after Compass's win, is the number Compass didn't headline, because it says something about how big pharma is actually pricing psilocybin. And it's not what the July 7th press release wants you to think.
What Compass reported, the trial is called COMP006. It enrolled 581 patients across North America and Europe. All had treatment-resistant depression, meaning at least 2 failed medications. Average current episode, more than 3 years. Average number of lifetime depressive episodes, more than 6. These are the hardest patients in psychiatry. 3 arms. 296 patients got 25 milligrams of COMP360 psilocybin. 142 got 10 milligrams of COMP360. 143 got 1 milligram, which functions as the low-dose comparator. At week 6, 39% of the 25 milligram arm hit a clinically meaningful response, defined as at least a 25% reduction on the MADRS depression scale. That benefit was maintained, on average, through week 26. Then the retreatment piece. Of the patients who responded at week 6, nearly 30% went into remission, MADRS 12 or lower, after being redosed in Part B of the trial. Safety was clean. Serious adverse events at 26 weeks, 5.7% on the 25 milligram arm, 6.3% on the 1 milligram arm. The 1 milligram control had more serious events than the active dose. Most adverse events happened on dosing day and resolved quickly. 2 positive Phase 3 trials, durable through 6 months. That's the win Compass reported.
Here's where you have to read past the release. Compass's first Phase 3 trial, COMP005, used a single 25 milligram dose, 258 patients. That single-dose trial produced a 25% response rate at week 6. COMP006 got to 39%, but it needed 2 doses, 3 weeks apart to get there. And even then, the maintained benefit, the durability story, required retreatment during Part B for a third of week 6 responders to actually hit remission. Now go back further. In 2021, Compass ran the Phase 2b trial that founded this whole program. 233 patients, a single 25 milligram dose produced a MADRS delta of -6.6 versus the 1 milligram control at week 3. Statistically significant. But the magnitude, 6.6 points, is on the small end for psychiatry. For contrast, Definium's DT120, the LSD-based depression drug we covered last week, hit an 8.1-point placebo-adjusted MADRS delta at week 6, off a single dose. So here's the buried arc.
A single 25 milligram dose of psilocybin produces roughly a 25% response.
6-point MADRS delta effect. That's real. It's durable, but it's not a knockout. To get to a bigger effect size, Compass had to add a second dose. To get to remission, patients needed retreatment. That's the durability story reframed. Durability of treatment, not durability of one dose. COMP360 is looking more like a repeated administration antidepressant than the one-and-done, rewire the early Phase 2 coverage promised. That distinction matters because Big Pharma just voted with money.
9 days after Compass published its 6-month readout, Eli Lilly announced it was buying AtaiBeckley, $2.8 billion up front, up to $1 billion more in milestone payments, $3.8 billion total. The single largest acquisition in the history of psychedelic medicine. Lilly did not buy Compass. The lead asset is BP003, nasal spray, 5-MeO-DMT, a short-acting psychedelic, for treatment-resistant depression. Phase 3 underway. FDA breakthrough therapy designation already granted. Now the question, why buy the competitor instead of the incumbent? 3 reasons the Compass IR release did not want you thinking about. First, dose duration. COMP360 requires roughly 6 to 8 hours of clinical monitoring per session. That's an entire in-clinic day. BP003 is under 2 hours. If the drug reimburses the same, but takes a quarter of the clinic time, the throughput math is not close. Second, dose count. COMP005 was designed as a single-dose regimen. COMP006 shifted to 2. The Compass Phase 3 package now supports up to 4 doses across 52 weeks. Every added dose is more clinic time, more insurance friction, more DEA-controlled inventory. BP003 at Phase 3 is being positioned as a repeatable but faster session. Third, differentiation. Lilly's neuroscience portfolio already includes traditional antidepressants. They didn't need another moderate effect molecule. They needed something structurally different from oral pills. 5-MeO-DMT, delivered by nasal spray, is a fundamentally different clinical experience. So contrast psilocybin at these effect sizes with these dosing needs is a harder story to tell against Zoloft. The $3.8 billion answer. Big Pharma is not paying up for 6-point MADRS delta with all-day sessions. Big Pharma is paying up for the format: short session, nasal delivery, repeatable. Compass has the better trial data. AtaiBeckley has the better product. That's the bet Lilly just made.
3 dates matter. 1. Q4 2026. Compass completes its final NDA submission. The FDA review clock starts. Rolling NDA means much of the package is already under review, so the calendar will move fast. 2. September 14, 2026. The FDA holds its historic public hearing on therapeutic psychedelics. Compass will be there, so will Definium, so will whoever now owns AtaiBeckley's Phase 3 DMT program under the Lilly umbrella. 3. First half of 2027. Compass's targeted commercial launch, subject to FDA approval and subject to DEA rescheduling psilocybin out of Schedule 1. That second condition is not automatic. The buried angle for the next 12 months, Compass has to convince the FDA and payers that a 2-dose, 6 to 8 hour per session psilocybin program is worth reimbursing at the price it will need to charge to justify a 2027 launch. Big Pharma has already signaled it does not think that math works.
The July 7th press release said durable benefit at 6 months. That's true. It didn't say Compass had to double the dose count to get there, that retreatment carries the remission story, or that Big Pharma just paid $3.8 billion to buy the competitor instead. Those are the numbers Compass buried, and they're the numbers that decide whether COMP360 becomes psychiatry's next standard of care or its next Spravato. Subscribe for more buried science.